Greetings and welcome to the 90th episode of the Reconnect podcast and TV show. Today we are here at Njays Family Restaurant and we have the distinguished guest, that day David Mabote. Greetings and welcome to the podcast.
Oh, greeting my son. Thank you so much for having me.
What inspired the creation of Business Fox and what gap in the market are you addressing? Also, before you answer the question, briefly highlight us what is Business Fox and yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. And no, thank you so much for having me and giving me this great opportunity to unpack. The Business Fox. The Business Fox is a company which is primary rationale is to provide the economic data, even in try to enhance or optimize the synergies between the private sector and the public sector. Why am I saying that there should be some synergies? It's because when the public sector need to come up with the economic policies, they need what are the gray areas for the private sector. So our primary rationale is to make sure that these two players, which they need each other towards the inclusive economic growth, they really have to speak in one voice. Yes, sir.
So how does Business Fox define its mission and what drives your commitment to business journalism in Lesotho?
What we realize that the narrative of the Kingdom of Lesotho has been very much negative. Although, as you look on the ground, you realize that there are a lot of great things that the Kingdom of Lesotho is here to offer. So we realize that when it comes to the media can either build or destroy. And you realize that the current publication back then was not really, working hard in terms of, promoting Lesotho competitively towards our other SADC members. So this is where I said, okay, fine, let's just come up with the Business Fox to show that Lesotho is very much competitive when it comes to the economy.
Can you tell us about your team and their expectation delivering such high quality content?
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much for asking that question. You know, the vision of Business Fox is quite good. So it has to have a very good team that can really steer the vision or the mission to the right destination. So our expertise, I myself as a publisher of Business Fox, I have a decade, which is 10 years in the medium. So that expertise, I really invested to see that the vision of the Business Fox is really meeting its destination. And then from there, from other areas, I work with people that are highly, involved into the media for a long time, that have been exposed to the media for a long time, so that we make sure that whatever we have envisaged, it really, go down perfectly fine.
So what distinguishes Business Fox content from other business publications?
Yeah, it's very simple. As business folks, we have spotted a niche market that has never been tapped before. Like even if you go through our publication, you realize that our reporting is more about the economic growth. We are trying to come up with good articles that can, trigger like someone to make a move towards the private sector. Because, for instance, when you look at our economy is not well balanced, because most of the people, when they're coming from school, they want to be employed. But you realize that when it comes to the private sector, you see, few players that are getting into the private sector. So in order to get into a private sector, you really need economic data, in which Business Fox is definitely ushering. And we are certainly very optimistic that if a lot of people can really subscribe to Business Fox and try to, read it further, they will see that Lesotho is really rising. Because what we want to do, we want to make sure that the narrative of Lesotho is really shifting by projecting the Kingdom of Lesotho with a positive lens, not to think that is the country of problems when we have so many things to offer in the Kingdom of Lesotho.
Oh, I once read the newspaper. Like it's really great. Like you're doing a really good job.
Thank you so much.
So how do you decide which industries or stories to highlight each week?
The Business Fox, it has been envisioned 3 years ago. And what we realize that we have a series of economic levers. For instance, you talk about the tourism. You realize that the terrain of the Kingdom of Lesotho is amazing, it's top notch. But no one says anything about the Kingdom of Lesotho. So as we focus on the tourism to make sure that we expose Lesotho positively, as we are aware right now, we are hosting the Roof of Africa. It means right now people that will be coming for Roof of Africa, they start to discover Lesotho differently. Then from there, we realize that in order for the business to flourish, you need the inclusion of a seed capital. Where right now we are reporting more about the financial sector. We talk about the likes of the bank and everything else.
Can you share more about your exclusive content from influential business leaders?
What we do, because we realize that in order to take our people to the next level, we really need to profile people that have made it to the top. So we engage them, we interview them, we give them exposure so that most of our people can see that whatever they want to opt for or whatever they want to achieve is really possible.
So, what challenges have you faced in establishing Business Fox as Lesotho's premier business news source?
Yeah, I think that the challenge that is really standing out is the price that we are selling business Fox, which is 22.50, and you realize that most of their publication, I mean, they sell them around 7 rand. And the challenge that I can say is still a little bit of a challenge is the people to understand that our content is quite different from the general newspaper. Because when you are reporting about the business newspaper, it means right that you are going to invest a series of resources that to make sure that the content that you give into people is a really content that is useful for them to make a good decision.
So, in your research, what trend or sectors show the most promise for Lesotho's economic growth? You mentioned tourism. Is there any other sectors which are promising?
Yeah, well, the sectors that I can say right now, this is where the world is going, is ICT, information communication technology. The world is really moving forward. So Lesotho cannot, I mean, afford to remain behind in terms of the ICT. So ICT is really, topping the list of development because now the globe is integrated. You can engage and talk and have a meeting with someone in US. Traditionally, in order to engage, to talk to someone in US, you'll have to go to the airport, fly there, take some. But now you can even make very good decision at the right time within a short space of period of time. Yeah.
So, how do you see the relationship between the public and private sector evolving in Lesotho?
The relationship, I must say, is quite evolving positively. Like I said, the Kingdom of Lesotho is really rising. As you can see, even the government is really trying to, meet the private sector wing. We talk about this as Babazo, where it's targeted for the youth. You talk about the partial credit fund, where the government of Lesotho has invested, 50 million to make sure that they assist the startup, to make it to the top, because most of the people, they will say right now, I have the good ideas, but you realize that these good ideas, they are not bankable. There are no really projections because business is about the growth. So with this 50 million that the government has really invested, it looks like they are also going to have the budget for incubating the entrepreneurs, which is a small micro enterprises, because there is no economy that can grow without a small micro enterprises. So I see a very good synergy. I see a very good relationship between the government and the public at large. Even as you can see right now, if you are driving to Maseru, you can really see there's a massive shift in Lesotho right now as we speak. And I think right now we just have to continue, supporting the government with the trade policies. We must continue to work with the government of the day to see that we really, change the Lesotho narrative to make Lesotho great again.
Wow. So, how does Business Fox engage with and empower local entrepreneurs?
The business folks, like I said, the primary rationale is to expand the economy of Lesotho. And there's no way that you can get into business without economic data. As what we are trying to do, we have the platform where we usher economic data so that whether you want to go into mining, you know what does it takes to go to mining. If right now you want to go into ICT, what does it takes to go to ICT? The greatest thing in business, folks, we also have the ministry affairs and milestone. It's whereby we engage different ministries, to unpack what are the possibilities or investment within their ministry, so that the private sector practitioners can take advantage of those kind of possibilities.
So can you share any success stories or feedback from readers about how business folks has impacted them?
Oh, like I said, the business folks has been envisioned for 3 years ago, but as we speak right now, we have almost 2 months, and in these 2 months, we have secured, around 3 contracts that can run for 6 months, which that tells you exactly that whatever the message that we are evangelizing is really getting to the right destination. People are starting to see that Lesotho, in order to go forward, we need the economic data, in which business folks is really offering the economic data. So the milestone that I can say, it's a reception on the ground. The reception, it has been good. Even next week I'll be featured in TV Lesotho to come and unpack about the business folks. You'll feature me because you'll see the great thing about business folks. So all those kind of things, they are telling you exactly that business folks, it's here to transform Lesotho. It's here to change the mindset of Lesotho, because most of the people is not like they are poor physically, they are poor mentally. And if you can work someone mentally, you are going to make a very good entrepreneur.
So what are your long-term goals for business folks, both locally and regionally?
Well, our long-term goal with business folks, we want to create a business folks as a platform for, trade talk, economic talk, by looking at to launch our own radio station very soon, about the business folk radio station, where the people will be talking about nothing but economic talk, where people will have the platform to engage aggressively to the radical topics, can take Lesotho from one level to the new dimension. Because now Lesotho need to rise. Lesotho deserve better. Lesotho deserve to be sold, because the other thing that it has been is serious challenges about us as Basotho. We never tell our good stories about Lesotho. We always talk about negative stuff about Lesotho, when there are a lot of great stories about Lesotho. I had the opportunity that I was one of the guys that went to Botswana, and when we get to Botswana on the business mission, you realize that most of the people there, they still think like Lesotho is another province of South Africa. So we need to shift and to tell Lesotho is a monarchy. They have got the independence in 1966, and Lesotho is here to do business with other countries or other communities that are very serious to invest in Lesotho.
So we can also say it's for young people, uh, maybe bagetang go qeta ko sekolong, or who are still at high school, or some bands of university who are
Yeah.
still trying to figure
Yeah.
out now what can they do with their
Yeah.
careers, especially on the unemployment rate hodimo jana.
Yeah, the most important thing about the young people, I would say that they must have what you call a vision board. First of all, you need to know why do you want to go in life, because you realize that most of the young people, they are just having a lot of ideas, but they don't know how to package them. So if you have a vision, you know where you're going, and just try to have the long-term goal, medium-term, and long-term, medium-term, and short-term goals. And most important thing, I would like to tell young people that there's so much wisdom in the private sector. They have to consult the likes of, Bedco. They have to consult the likes of LNDC. They have to consult the likes of, Minister of Gender, because there are a lot of things that the government is really trying to do, but a lot of people, they don't approach right offices. And they must read, because in order for someone to get to from one level to the other, they need to expand their thinking horizon. And you can only expand your thinking horizon once you read good books about entrepreneurship. And the greatest thing that we have here now, you realize that the information can be accessed They don't have to abuse the Google. They don't have to abuse the social media. They need to come to the platform when they talk about trade. They have to, also try to, little bit be careful about their networks, because most of our young people, they have wrong networks. So you need to work with the winners, because once you work with the winner, you're going to be a winner too.
Oh.
Yep.
So, to parents, what can we say to them, maybe in supporting their children? And so
Yes.
any
In,
advice to them?
Yeah, as parents, I think you need to have, more engagement with your child. Try to ask your child, do you have the goals? Do you have a vision? If there's a deficit there, you try to see how can you assist the child by making sure that you can even sponsor that they can go for the investment summit or entrepreneurship summit, by helping them to show them that the employment is saturated, because they say the meaning of a job is just over broke to work for someone. You understand? So now you need to start to create your own thing, because the leaders, they create their own path. So I can say to the parents, they need to give their children support in good business ideas, because I can't say the parents should support you for wrong business ideas, but they need to support their kids for good business ideas.
Mas, do you have the question for I guess?
No, I don't.
So how can people find your offices, if, or where can they contact you if they want to know more about business works, and where they can
Yeah.
buy the copy, or if they want the digital copy?
Yes, yes. Our corporate office is in West, but to make things easy for them, we have their website. Our website is MVI Africa. They can access us there as well. Our office line is 27338050. Our WhatsApp line is 578680 and 50. And then from there they can get us on LinkedIn, they can get us on the Facebook. We have a presence in all the social media network, I must say. But in order to get the digital copy, what we normally do, you request. After you request, we send the banking details, or the how do you get the digital copies. Then from there, you send us POP. Yes, after sending the POP, then we can send an electronic copy. But as for the physical copy, the interesting thing about the physical copy, they can get us in Maseru Mall, in Checkers, they can get us in all the ShopRite, they can get us in all the filling station in town, they can even get us beyond the border of Lesotho. We are available in Spa Lady brand as well. So we are still trying to expand our circulation channels. But as for now, like the bookshops, we are there. We have tried to do a very good work so that we make sure that our patrons, they can access our publication in right spots then.
Oh, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yes, as my closing remarks, I will say right now, in order to be successful in life, you must mix the two: study, but also have goals, and but have the lens of business as well. And the other thing that they have to do, they need to research by going to the right offices. Like I say right now, I was marveled when I realized that the government of Lesotho, they have a lot of opportunity for youth, but just that the youth, most of them, they only talk on the radio platforms complaining, and they have to run away from complaining. They must know the right offices. They can visit partial credit fund. They can go to the Ministry of Trade to ask for the opportunities. They can go for this ministry like youth and gender. They have a lot of opportunity for Basotho in general. So they have to go there. But most of all, they have to consult the likes of Beko, so that they can really make sure that they are being honed in terms of business, because the investment is very shy. So the likes of Bedco, if you go there, they teach you dynamics about how do you start up the business. Then they have to consult the right agencies, because we have all the instruments that is very good that these people can be successful, and they have to stop complaining, but they have to be the agent of change.
Jenny Internet Lesotho offers a wireless home internet to connect and keep in touch with your loved ones. Business internet for a small business and multi-branch corporate environments. It's high speed, low contention, and low latency. Visit Jenny Internet Lesotho today.
So what can you say for responsible stakeholders, maybe the government and these organizations, how the information is available and it should reach the right people, maybe young people, because sometimes young people or other like batho ba baholo ha ba kgone ho thola information ena hore ha ba hloka ntho e itseng ba ka ya ntho e itseng. So I can say to stakeholders, stakeholders.
Yeah. No, I'm very much excited because, for instance, I realize that Ministry of Communication, they are doing a very good job. Now they have the government website where information can be, if you want something, you can just visit the website there and try to get the right information. And the other thing that I can say to the right stakeholders, I think we have to quit the talk shop, the talk shop, but we have to talk transaction talk, where right now you take policymakers and you take entrepreneurs, you lock them under one roof so that whatever that is happening there, decision can be made easily. Because a long time ago, most of our people, they were good in terms of, talk shops, talking, but no milestone or no execution. So we need to shift from that and come to on table and try to see what is really concerning us under one roof, where the policymakers can hear from the private sector and the private sector can see what are the investment possibilities and how can I seize that opportunities, and the financier have to be there to see, okay, fine, this idea is bankable. If this idea is not bankable, you can improve on these gray areas. Then from there you get the funding, then you can address unemployment in Lesotho. Yes, sir.
I would like to ask, are there any challenges you faced and how did you overcome them?
The challenges in which context? About the business?
Yes.
Well, like I said, our people on the ground, they have been thinking that in order to make it, you have to be employed. And you realize that unemployment right now, a lot of people, they cannot get employed because we have the issues of COVID-19. We have a lot of problems where most of our fathers, they were being exported as a labor in South Africa. So the mines are not there anymore. And a lot of companies have been closed in the COVID-19. So the challenges that I can say we are really having is to see that these people, they grasp this thing of starting to do business. They feel like, if I buy the newspaper for 22.50, it's very expensive. But you realize that they can buy alcohol, which is above, very expensive, you understand? So the challenge is that we are trying to do, we are trying to shift their mindset to understand that in the list of the priorities, education is key, economic data is very key. That's a little bit of a challenge, but we are very much optimistic because we are always devising new strategies. How do you, maneuver around that issue? And I can assure you, in less than 2 years, business folks will be a good news for the whole country. Yeah.
Have you always been interested in creating newspapers?
Yes, I've been always passionate about the Kingdom of Lesotho. Like I said, right now, Business Fox is a subsidiary of MVI Group, Mabote Venture Intelligence Group, whereby I and my wife, we are the founders of that, conglomerated company. And we've been trying to address, serious issues in Lesotho by being the reseller of the product management software. But as we are on the ground, we realize something, that the other deficiency that our people are having is a lack of that eagerness or the drive to do business. And when you engage with them, they are worried about, we don't have the seed capital, we don't have money, we don't have research. Then we said, okay, let's just come up with Business Fox newspaper to make sure that we can knock from through offices that can assist Basotho. And as we speak right now, we have a very good synergies with the likes of Ministry of Trade. We have right synergies with the Executive Director for Partial Credit Fund, in which it was alleged that the government has done its part by making sure that they put aside 50 million that is there to grab by the business people.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Who is your biggest supporter through it all?
Yeah, our biggest supporter is the financial institutions, is the private sector, the business community. We are also the member of Chamber of Commerce in Lesotho and the Chamber of Commerce in Durban as well. Try to make sure that we are trying to make sure that the stakeholders that we are, because this paper, we are not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for the customers. And then people, they support us by reading, even to give us advertisement, because you can sustain newspaper free at best time.
So I should say for people who are afraid to maybe work with their partners. For example, you said you started the Mabote venture.
With my wife.
Yeah, with your
Yes,
wife.
I started the company with my beautiful wife, of course. You know, most of the people, I mean, they lost it because when they get into relationship, they don't share their inspiration and their vision with to their partners. You understand? Then you have to sell your vision to your partner so that your partner can see how can they factor in to be compatible to your vision. And then you have to present like you're doing the professional work to your partner. You understand? This is the niche market. This is the market capitalization. And once they buy your idea, I'm telling you, you'll get a very good support, because business folks was not supposed to be. If I didn't get a good support from my wife, yeah.
How do you balance your work life and your personal life?
Well, it's a tricky one, but you know, we have priorities, because the other thing that I have to unleash to you, we are also the pastors. We are the founder of History is Marching On. We have also founded the foundation called MVI Foundation, where I try to we are going to assist people with a lot of startup in terms of the capital. We are going to help people that really want to go into school, and so that we can identify which causes that they are responding to the current economic crisis. So it's about communication, because my wife is also my friend. So we are always together trying to share the inspiration. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, you're lucky.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, thank you.